Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a special Canada's Got Talent edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're listening to this on an audio version, please give us a 5-star review, subscribe, and please download other episodes after this one, including this one. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. Canada's Got Talent Season 2 is off to an amazing start, and I am very fortunate to be welcoming some of my favorite acts from the judges' auditions. Up next is a magician whose audition freaked out Cardinal. In fact, he walked off the set. But before he turned to his seat, just before, he transformed Lilly Singh into a block of ice. And as of this recording, his audition has over 531,000 views on YouTube. So please help me welcome Magic Ben to the podcast. You were not expecting that intro.
No, it's fantastic. I love it.
Thank you, and your act is amazing, Ben. So we got a lot to talk about. So let's get this started.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
The phone keeps ringing since Tuesday.
But it tells you about the power of Got Talent. It showcases that get like offline. We were talking, and so like you got recognized since your audition.
Yes, it's been crazy. I had a show on Friday. I have 2 shows on Friday, and people are just coming up to me and, "You're the magician on Canada's Got Talent. You made Lilly Singh freak out. Oh my goodness, can I take a picture? Can you sign me an autograph? Are you going to be on stage later?" Yes. And then it's like crazy because it's now like before it was always fun. I got to do magic to everybody. But now people know that I'm the magician. So now they come to me right away. It's crazy. It's super fun.
Awesome. So let's talk about your origin story before we get to Canada's Got Talent. So when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve and desire to pursue performing magic?
It's an interesting question because I started the first time I saw a piece of magic was when I was 9 years old, and it was when my parents got married. So at their wedding, they invited a magician. So I saw that, and he was doing the linking rings routine. So he was linking these metal rings together, and he was unlinking them. And he kept telling us, "Ladies and gentlemen, there's no holes in the rings." And he would link them and unlink them. And I was 9 years old. I was freaked out. I didn't understand how that worked. So I ran to my dad, and I said, Dad, how does he do that?" My dad said, "If you want to know, you'll have to become a magician." But right away, and this is where I'll share this with you, that right away, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I got to be a magician." And the next day I was on YouTube and I was learning my first card trick. But I was a very shy little kid. I was very, 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 very shy. And I'd love to learn how the magic worked, but I was always super nervous to go out there and perform it to people. So it took a couple of years before I built my character and started to go out there and perform. So there was a long time where I was practicing my tricks by myself. And living in the Canadian Arctic, I was always in my room, shuffling my cards in front of the mirror. I was very in my own world with myself, learning that stuff, right? And it took a couple years. I could say it took a good, at least 5 years. At least 5 years before I decided to step up and say, "Okay, it's time for me to go out there and show what I got." And I would start performing it at school, at daycares, at different small staff parties on the street, everywhere that I could, just to perform to my parents, of course, 3,000 times. So it's been like this for me. I really loved to learn how the trick worked. And then slowly as time went, I started developing my character and being less shy to go out there and perform.
That's incredible. And also I gotta say this. It's amazing that you're able to do all that. But like, who are some inspirations behind your magic?
Ooh, behind my magic. It's definitely somebody that I look up to all my life is a world champion magician, Sean Farquhar. For me, it was always a great inspiration. I also want to say David Blaine. David Blaine's career, just the way that he shaped his career. And when I see what he did when he was 19, when he was 20, he was 21, just the way he shaped his career for me, I think it's unbelievable. I want to say Joan Caesar. She's the lady that she told my mother in those couple years where I was a little bit more shy. She met me and she told my mother, "You need to send your kid to magic camp. He needs to learn how to have a character." And my mother was like, "Okay." And then I got sent to magic camp, and that helped me like come out of my cocoon a little bit, right? And grow my character. So I look up to her a lot. Hiawatha Johnson, fantastic, fantastic. He was doing some fantastic mentalism for me at some point, and he helped me get out of my character. I was in a workshop with him, and I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I was 14 years old. I wasn't even supposed to be in that workshop because everybody was like at 17, 18, 19, 20. They were all older. But I was 14 because Joanne Caesar told my mother I needed to go work with this specific teacher and learn how to come out of my cocoon. And it was an intense week it was a couple hours of workshop a day, a bunch of homework. And at the end of the week, as a 14-year-old, I got a prize of excellence in the class. And I came out of my cocoon in that week. And that just, and I talk to him all the time. I think about him every day. So that is also a great inspiration. For my card magic specifically, I have to say Danny de Ortiz, Juan Tamariz, a lot of Spanish magicians. It's been, yes, the past 10 years of magic, I've seen a lot of magicians. I've met a lot of magicians. But if I have one that I have to say only one, I'm going to go with Sean Farquhar. Sean Farquhar for me he's unbelievable magician.
And those are all great in your field, and that's amazing. So, all right. So, why did you decide that 2023 was the year that you would audition for Canada's Got Talent?
Yes. So, and this has been, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what happened just before Canada's Got Talent. So, I lived in the Yukon for 4 or 5 years. And in June 2023, I moved to Saskatoon. So I flew out of Saskatoon because 8 months ago, my manager lives here, and he says, you're gonna be a full-time entertainer. And I said, fantastic. So I said, let's give that a try. So I moved here and I landed in Saskatoon. He picked me up, he pulled up on the side of the road, and he said, get out of the car, put your suit on, you have a show in 15 minutes. I said, I just landed. He said, yeah, you have a show in 15 minutes, put your suit on. I said, okay, fantastic. So I put my suit on. We drive to the country club. I had a show in a country club here in town. I do the show. Everything's fantastic. And then I ended up doing like something like 66 or 67 shows in July across 5 provinces. So I was on the plane every day. I was on the road every day doing shows back to back to back to back. And then in August, my manager told me, you should be on Canada's Got Talent. And I said, that's a great idea. I've always dreamed of being on Canada's Got Talent. And I had applied last year. And I didn't get in. So I said, you know what? Let's do this again. So I repolished my routine. I rethought a little bit more, and I applied. And now it's unbelievable. I went to the auditions, and all of this happened. So my career is just kind of starting off professionally, where I'm traveling everywhere across Canada and United States. I'm always on the plane. I'm sleeping in hotels everywhere, and I get to do what I love like this. And now I'm on my dream TV show that I've been dreaming of since I'm this big. That I was too shy to even think that I would be on there. Like, I was too shy to think that. I was 9 years old. I was just practicing my tricks, and I was looking at the other magicians on the Got Talent. But I was like, me? Oh, no, me, I'm not going to perform. I just want to know. I just want to practice and do the magic to myself in the mirror. And
That's
look at where I am. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's amazing that you went from the 15 minutes, like you had a show in 15 minutes and then you had to put on a suit and everything. And like you worked your way up to like Canada's Got Talent. It's like I hear stories about being in YouTube, about musicians being in YouTube by themselves and then working, but not like going up and building up. But like, it feels like you went on the right track.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Me, I talk to the universe a lot. I do lucid dreaming. I do a lot of lucid dreaming, and the last couple of years I've been lucid dreaming all of my dreams. Everything that I want to accomplish in my life, I dream it first. So I go to sleep at night and I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens tonight. And I go to bed and I wake up, and I've dreamed like 15 years. I've dreamed 15 years of my life, of things that I might want to do and that I don't want to do. And I've dreamed of Canada's Got Talent. I did it. And it's fantastic that it's working now, because everything I've dreamed in the past that I would move to Saskatchewan and that I would have a manager in Saskatchewan. I've dreamed that when I was like 14. And then I'm 19 years old, and it happened for me. And it's crazy how the power of, and this is where I was telling you, I believe in the universe. I believe in talking to the universe and believing, because it worked. It worked for me. And if it worked for me, I want to share that to other people because it might work for them. So
Absolutely.
I'm very blessed by the universe. Life gave me a gift, and I want to use it, and I want to share my magic as possible.
I agree with you 1,000%. If you send positive vibes into the universe, you'll get them back.
Oh yes, for sure.
All right, so let's talk about your audition. And I gotta say, for 2 minutes, it felt like an entire show. So how long did it take you to plan that?
Well, actually, this is funny because the audition piece that I did with the block of glass with Lilly um is a routine that I've been working on for 10 years. This
Wow.
routine is one of the
So,
first, when I was 9 years old, it was one of the first things that I saw. So I saw the linking rings, but I also saw the block of glass. And I was like, that is unbelievable. That is real magic. A deck of cards that turns into, it wasn't in my hands. I didn't see it happen in my hands, but I saw it happen in one of my uncle's hands. And I just thought that was unbelievable. So when I started my magic, I started learning, I started right away. I wanted to know how that worked. So that was one of the first things. I couldn't tell you what number on the list it was, but it was one of the first things that I learned. So I started practicing when I was like 9 or 10 years old. I started practicing that routine. And then many years later, well, I just decided, I said, this is a routine that has helped me go through a lot of things in my life. I was bullied a lot. I was bullied a lot in my life, and that routine really, really helped me out. So I've been doing it all my life. I said, this is the perfect routine. And I've built it to say that no matter how low I got, I always came back to the top. I always came back to the top and encouraged them back to the top. So it was always something that I did all my life. Every time someone would ask me, who are you? That's what I would show them. And I just decided that was the perfect piece of magic to do on CGT for the auditions. So I've been working it for a long, long time.
and it paid off with that reaction and the views on YouTube. And okay, so I gotta say, you're not the first magic act that got this, but were you nervous when Cardinal walked off? Were you nervous when he walked off?
um, to be honest, I was on stage, and I remember I said to Cardinal, I said, "Hello, sir." I said, "Let's start with you," and he said, "Well, maybe you should start over there," and he kind of pointed to Trish, and I was like, and I'm used to it. I'm a close-up magician. I'm always having to deal with the situation, what happens in the moment, and dealing with it. But now it's national television. So I got a little bit of nervousness in me that said, oh, wait. And then I started thinking, wait, I can't go there. I really have to stick with him. I said, are you sure? We're going to do very simple card tricks, Cardinal. We're going to do very simple thing. Here, just touch a card. Just touch a card. And I kind of like forced it on him a little bit, right? And then he picked a card, and I put it in the middle. And then when he saw it and it was on top, he touched and he put it on the table and he stood up, he walked away. And for me, I knew it was, I knew I had him. I knew it was, he's not scared of magic, but he was like, oh, come on. He walked away. So I said, fantastic. We move on to the next part. For me, I saw it as a bonus point. Because if he sat there, and I understood later on that magic is not his cup of tea too much. So if he stands up, it could be a good thing. So when I realized that during the routine, I was like, oh, fantastic. This is a bonus point for me. This is going to be great for TV. Let's continue. And then I moved on with my routine. But for like this split second, I was like, whoa, oh, what is happening here? But it worked very good. It worked in my favor.
Awesome. So I want to present you with a hypothetical. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so if you made it to finale night and Lindsay L declared you the winner of Canada's Got Talent season 2, how would winning season 2 of Canada's Got Talent change your life?
That's a fantastic question. And I'll tell you this. You know when they talk about the American dream? Well, this is the Canadian dream. Because I grew up in the Canadian Arctic in a small Inuit community. It's only fly in and out. There's no roads to go there. And there's tundra everywhere. So I grew up on the land of no trees. There's no trees. I grew up above the tree line in Canada. So it's completely white. It's completely white forever. And there's no magicians. The internet is not really good. It's very isolated. and I was the only kid. I was the only white kid. I was in an Inuit community, and growing up and trying to learn their culture and their language. My parents were working there and trying to learn their language, their culture. Sometimes it was hard for me to fit in. It was very hard. And all my life I worked on my magic. All my life, whether it be in my room in front of the mirror, or out there trying to perform my tricks, or trying to get out of difficult situations. It's very the way that I see my how could we say this? I'm very French. I don't know if you can hear my French accent, but it's my journey to what I am today. I think this story is crazy because I can, in a way, I represent inspiration and hope to all the Inuit communities of the Arctic, all the indigenous communities, all the kids in Canada. That it doesn't matter which part of the country you're from, anything is possible. Because I came from a place in the middle of nowhere in the Canadian Arctic, and today I'm on Canada's Got Talent. So winning would change my life because it's I don't even know what to tell you. I can't even imagine that yet. I have to dream that. I have to dream it. I have to dream it is what I have to do. But I want the kids, and I said this multiple times. I want the kids to believe that anything is possible. And if I can be that for them, then I've done my job. I've done my job. So winning Canada's Got Talent, it would change my life because I get to actually represent hope and inspiration for all the communities up north. And I get to show them that anything is possible. And I get to bring all of Canada together because I live east, west, and north. And hopefully I can be a bridge that connects all of us together through maybe a block of glass.
Absolutely. That's absolutely. I definitely think you have a great attitude, and I definitely think you will go far no matter what happens in Canada's Got Talent.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So last question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So several as of right now, as of this recording, America's Got Talent is doing their judges auditions as this moment, and Britain's Got Talent's about ready to enter its live phase of its competition.
Okay.
So if you had if you had the opportunity to speak to magicians who are ready to audition for the judges, what advice would you share with them?
You be yourself, you have fun, and when you walk in on stage, you take 2 seconds. You look, you put your hands like this, and you look, and you are grateful. You are grateful to be there. You have 2 seconds of gratitude, and you say, wow, I am here for me, it was Canada's biggest stage. Maybe for some of them, it's Great Britain's biggest stage. Maybe it's America's biggest stage. For me, it was Canada's biggest stage. But you take a second, and you say, wow, I am here. Let's have some fun. Remember, that's the number one. You need to have fun. You're a magician. Your job is to do magic, is to make people laugh, is to make people have fun. Go for it. Have fun. Is the best stage.
Awesome. Magic Ben, I gotta say thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm wishing you lots of luck on your CGT journey, and I hope that this is not the last time that we speak to each other, because you have a bright future in magic, and I'm looking forward to see what you do, no matter after Canada's Got Talent and beyond.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jacob. And it's not the last time we speak. It's not the last time.
Awesome. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.